Okay, at this time I'd like to call to order Putnam County Legislative Special Meeting. Could we all stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance
To the
flag
flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. This time we'll post the colors. God bless and guide this legislative body. We pray that all our decisions be in the best interests of our constituents and that we continue to make Putnam County an even better place to live. Thank you. One sit, please. Call, vote.
Present. Present. Present.
Present.
Present.
Here. And Legislator Goulman is on his way. He's close by. Okay. At this time, I'd like to introduce Bruce Walker, our Assistant County Executive.
Thank you, Carl. At this time, it is my distinct privilege and pleasure to introduce a very good friend of mine, the County Executive of this county, County Executive Odell.
Oh, you made it. Well, thank you, Deputy County Executive. Thank you to my colleagues on the legislature. Anything goes wrong tonight, it's the legislature's fault. I just want to put that out there right now.
I'll take the heat for that.
So we have a very informative evening tonight. And first, nothing starts in this county without a salute to the great nation that we love so very largely, and how we know how blessed we are to be Americans. And so at this time, I'd like to introduce Callie Sorrento, who will be singing the Star Spangled Banner. Callie.
Another test. Is it on? Are we on? Yes?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright
everyone. It should be noted that the Carmel High School Choir will be performing tomorrow, I believe, in St. Patrick's Cathedral. And next year, they will be performing in front of Pope Francis at the Vatican, if God wills it, and if we support it, which I believe that we're very proud of them, and of course they know that we will all be behind them and make sure that it happens. 2015 starts off a little frigid, a little cold. I'm sure as the year goes on, we'll all start to warm up as the spring thaw comes around. Easter will be here. We'll all count our blessings. We'll all remember what we're grateful for. I certainly want to thank my colleagues on the legislature for their support over the years. I certainly want to thank the not-for-profits and our community leaders for all that you do, particularly the business community. I know it's been really rough for you guys, but you've put it all down, and the harder you work, the easier my job is, particularly when it comes to sales tax. We've made many great friends and many new partnerships in the last 3 years in our administration, and we're definitely looking forward to the next 4 for the first full term of the Odell administration and the team, the wonderful, fantastic team that I've been able to put together. That's family. President Ronald Reagan said, if we ask ourselves what has held our nation together, what has given it the strength to endure and the spirit to achieve, we find the answer in our families and those basic family values of work, hope, charity, faith, and of course, love. Putnam County is rich in education, and we thank all of our teachers over the years. Callie's a student at Carmel High School, my alma mater. Many of us are here from Hopac, from Brewster, Putt Valley, Garrison, School District, Haldane, and we all have that special individual that even today, no matter how many years has gone by, we still remember that they invoked that sense of family while we were being educated. Union. This is a big topic, a favorite topic of mine. In American history, we all know that unions were formed to save lives. People were dying in fires and sweatshops. Children were being worked beyond their capacity and not going to school. The unions in this country saved lives, and they also built the middle class. Had it not be for unions, the middle class would not exist. And our administration embraces that union ideal. And we're very committed. We have proposed and it's been supported by the legislature for the project labor agreements. And we're very excited about projects that are on the forefront right now, where we're hoping to put union families back to work or to keep them working. We have great ideas for smart economic development growth. Without our unions, this country would not be the greatest country in the world. And our farmers. Interesting. Putnam County. Putnam County is what it is today because it was a place where people could come to get cheaper farmland. Not cheap, cheaper than Westchester, Nassau, Suffolk. This is where they brought their families. This is where they put it down, where they really sacrificed, where they took a gamble, they took a shot, because it was about feeding your family. It's about feeding your livestock. It was about fulfilling the American dream. And the laborers, those backs, those hard-working backs. I say that's when men were men and women were women. And nobody disputed an 8-hour day turning into a 12-hour day because they were just grateful for the opportunity to have a job so that they could feed their families and take care of them. The laborers in this country are exactly what defines each and every one of us and what we're proud about America, about this nation, because we are not afraid to put it down. Putnam County defines that. And our health providers, across the board, we think about our pediatricians that took care of us and took care of our children. We talk about the nurse that met us in the emergency room and stitched us up and stitched our kids up, who told us, don't worry, it's all going to be fine. We talk about the physician who stood by our bedsides, who stood by our parents' or grandparents' bedsides, held their hands and said, don't worry. We're going to give you everything you need and we're never going to leave your side. Putnam County has a long history of healthcare providers, and we continue that with the mission with Dr. Beals in the health department. And our church, our faith. There's so many wonderful things to be said about faith. For many of us, faith, it comes, it goes. For many of us parents, we say, you know, we did the best we could. We forced them to go to church. The rest is up to them. I can tell you that our faith-based organizations contribute more in volunteer hours, do more than we will ever understand. And they do that because they don't want recognition, but they know it. They know that they do it because they hear it. And they hear it from whatever higher power they answer to. Putnam County has a very diverse faith-based population, and we're very proud of our heritage. And it's all about family. It's all about family. The family unit, as we knew, the Brady Bunch, right? Carol and Mike Brady, it never happened. Personally, I wanted to be the Partridge Family, but my mother couldn't sing a note, and she wouldn't get on a bus. But we all had this great idea growing up about what was the perfect family. I mean, can anyone honestly say that they had the perfect family? Of course not. I can. We laugh about it. You know, we fought probably more than we've actually said, I love you. But that doesn't matter. What matters is that we're there for each other. In 2006, I became a legislator for the first time. I attended a baccalaureate mass for my daughter who's graduating from Kennedy Catholic. And Father Norton delivered the eulogy, and he said something that has stayed with me, and it has stayed with me as I'm an elected official. He said, remember something about family. Family is there for the good times, and it's there for the bad times. And you know what? We want to see you when it's good. We want you to come back, and we want you to say, good for you, good job. But you know what? We really want you to come back when it's not so good, when you need help, when things are bad, when you don't know what to do. That, to me, is what family is all about. I'm very blessed. My dad's right there. My sisters are around the room. I'm 54 years old. I still have a grandmother, May O'Brien. She's 101 April 24th. My mom, unfortunately, cannot be here tonight, but I know that she's with me. She's a woman of strength and courage. I can tell you right now that my family is not the perfect family, but they are the family that knows that whatever happens, it's all about love. That's it. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm making 2015 the year of the family. Because I'm the county executive of a county that I love. And I'm in charge to make sure that everybody gets what they need every day in and day out, 24/7. And I learned that. I was blessed to have it, and I'm going to pay it forward. So, tonight, throughout the presentation, there's going to be moments in time when we're going to refer to the year of the family. I want to thank everyone, for what they've been able to do to make this county the greatest county in the state of New York. Thank you. So every year we try to remember someone who's been with us and shared with us and has passed on. And this year we decided to spin it around. I thought it was a great idea. So these are the new additions in life. These we welcome, and we celebrate their life and we celebrate their contributions. From babies, to puppies, to kittens, to son-in-laws, to daughter-in-laws. You can clap for that, son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws. For the new families that we have in this county. Because this is our future. This is what makes us do what we do. And to Sheriff Smith, and to Jane, and to your family, your county loves you. We thank you. We're grateful. God bless you. So this map has a myriad of words. And the words that we've thrown out that we think defines us. There's not a map big enough to define Putnam County and how how wonderful and talented and creative and educated we are. But we started with a few. And the first word that we're going to use tonight is hope, which happens to be my daughter's name, by the way. And why hope? Well, we tag hope to our initiative on the One Army on the War on Addiction. We announced this at our budget address. We put our money where our mouth is. We spent our money wisely. Sheriff Smith has now 2 deputies and an investigator so that he can do his role and his personnel can do it fully staffed. We also put money towards programs for education through social services and mental health. Tonight we have a new Army, new members. We have New York State Senator Terrence Murphy. Terrence, could you please stand? We also have New York State Senator Sue Serino. We have 2 senators. We have the Honorable James Reitz. We have Sheriff Donald B. Smith. We have our District Attorney Adam Levy, the Putnam County Mental Health and Youth Bureau, and the Mental Health and Substance Abuse Providers. You all know who you are, so stand up and take a round of applause, please. So the One Army on the War on Addiction, as I just so noted, we have Dr. Terrence Murphy here. Terrence is a friend, he's a family man. He knows exactly what I'm talking about the commitment to the county, to the family, and what we need to do on substance abuse. Senator Serino, she's right there. She is a soldier right there with us. Actually, I'm going to give you a promotion. How's that? If it's all right with our Sheriff, I'm going to make you another general. How's that? But Senator Murphy has the distinguished position of being the new chair of the Heroin Task Force in New York State. And Terrence, I want to thank you for taking that incredible responsibility on. If there was ever anybody who can do this, it's Terrence Murphy. And this is the coalition, this is the Army, this is the troops on the ground, as we say. Of course, our legislature, always supportive, making sure that substance abuse issues across the board are addressed in this county. We have Stop DWI. Of course, our sheriff, our district attorney, Arms Acres, Putnam Family Community Services, the coalition that cares, and we're going to see a beautiful piece from them a little later. St. Christopher's Inn, of course, our app, Putnam County Cares, is a resource tool. And I just want to say to everyone, now is the time. This is the time. There has never been more opportunity. Unfortunately, we've been cleared a high-intensity drug trafficking area. The funding is there. The elected officials want to be part of it. This is the time to dig in and get it done. And of course, Judge Reed's Drug Treatment Court. How many have attended? How many here have attended the Drug Treatment Court? Can you not say it's been one of the most moving experiences? The last Drug Treatment Court was particularly special. We invited our senator as he was embarking on his chair of the Heroin Task Force. And there was a graduate, Jason Fell. Jason Fell served in the Marine Corps in some of the toughest battles before 9/11. He re-enlisted after 9/11, fought in Fallujah, for sure, I remember that. He sustained traumatic injuries. Probably injuries that, had it been another conflict, he may not have come home. Subsequently, he struggled to make it on pain medications, and it just took the best of him. Jason Fell went into a bad streak. He was facing state prison. And because of the Drug Treatment Court and because of the open arms of Putnam County, we embraced Jason Fell, gave him that second chance, and you know why? Because he fought for us, and we said we were going to fight for him. Jason Fell completed a 2-year program successfully. I had the honor and the privilege to meet him. I saw a man of courage. I saw a man who was grateful for an opportunity. And as the county executive, I promise you, we are going to make sure that that young man and every young man and every young woman that needs a helping hand, who has served this country honorably and needs a little bit more from us, we will be there for them. Thank you, Judge Reed. When you talk about substance abuse and you talk about addiction, one of the things that we've learned is that sadly it starts at the home. And it's not to say bad parenting, it's about our medicine cabinet. It's about the things that we don't even realize we're leaving in there, that these kids are opening up one day and they hear it's hip and they hear it's cool and they say, what's the big deal? Which we'll get to later. What's the big deal? We'll just take this out of there. So the Youth Bureau, Joe DiMarzo and the Putnam County Health Department, they decided that they were going to schedule medication take-back days. They enlisted another part of our general in our army on the war of addiction, the sheriff's office and all the police departments, and said, let's get these people to get it out and let's take it away. So we started Medication Take-Back Day. And since that time, 2.25 tons of medication have been turned in. And you know what? That's an environmentally smart thing to do, because what you don't want to do is have that flush down the toilet either. So I want to thank all of the partners in Medication Take-Back Day, and just note this. You're sitting here thinking about all that stuff you have in your medicine cabinet, because remember, sometimes somebody will have a root canal and get a prescription for 30 pain pills that you don't need. Get it out of the medicine cabinet. April 25th at the Putnam Hospital Center. Putnam Hospital Center. By the way, flash drive. I'm just going to say it now. I'll explain it later. The Sheriff's Office and the Carmel Police Department and the Kent PD are here. They're here in the House tonight. I saw Chief DiBierne here. I think Chief Kazari is here. And of course, we know that Don Smith is here. They're open 24/7. They'll take it anytime you bring it in. It's very, very important. Spread the message. So as I said, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? How many times have any of us ever said, what's the big deal? How many times have you heard your kids say, what's the big deal? Roll it.
It's just beer. It's no big deal.
Each year, 5,000 people under 21 die from underage drinking.
It's just weed. It's no big deal.
The number one reason teens are admitted to substance abuse treatment is marijuana.
It's just a pill. It's no big deal.
Every day, 100 people die from prescription drug overdoses.
I didn't drive that drunk. It's no big deal.
Every day, 28 people die from drunk driving crashes.
It's just a needle. It's no big deal.
Last year, nearly 4,000 people died from a heroin overdose.
Is it a big deal yet? Is it a big deal yet?
Is it a big deal yet? Is it a big deal yet?
Sponsored by the Putnam County Communities That Care Coalition, Putnam Family and Community Services, and Putnam County Stop DWI. For information, visit putnamncadd.org.
The next word that comes to mind for us is compassion. I know that with compassion also comes patience, which I'm working on right now. And I want to thank Commissioner Michael Piazza and the Deputy Commissioner Joe DiMarzo for all they do in leading the team in social services. Our team in social service department delivers the programs for families that, you know, everyone needs a lift and everyone needs a hand. It's not there, this isn't a way of life. We don't believe that, but we do believe that everyone needs some help every once in a while. And so the social services team is 24/7. They are dedicated. And you'll see that by many of those programs, they're all family-based, family-oriented. And of course, our heroes. For all of you who have served this country honorably, please stand and take acknowledgement and recognition for your service to this country. Very distinguished crowd. So in our budget in 2015, as they say, I think it was Sheriff Smith that once said to me, you know, Mary Ellen, when you're doing a budget, where you stand is where you sit. I sat on the third floor, and I sat many, many times with our veterans over the years as I worked with them on many various projects. And I knew it was very important, critical at this point in time, actually nationally critical, that we put in a full-time director, and thank you to the legislature for funding the position. And thank you to Carl Rohde for his service. He is a Silver Star recipient. He is U.S. Army, Vietnam. He's incredibly talented, he's incredibly committed, and he's Carl Rohde is the New York State president of the Ladies Auxiliary. How about that? Not to outshine her husband, and Carl doesn't mind that. And so why did we do this? Because you read in the paper, if you read the Wall Street Journal, if you're watching Channel 2, you've seen over and over and over again that our veterans are not getting the benefits that they deserve. They don't even oftentimes know they're not getting the benefits. And so Brennan Mahoney, who's been a great friend and a Putnam County resident, has been working his tail off as the New York State Department of Veterans Affairs to keep up with the extraordinary caseload. And that's why this position was so critical. So we have Carl Rohde as the director, and we have Deputy Director Art Hanley, who's here in the audience with us, who served our country honorably. And they're working every day to get that paperwork in and get it done. And then they can make their own excuses. Because you know what, we're not going to make excuses that we're not getting it done. We are getting it done for our veterans. And then we're going to put the onus on them. And I just also want to recognize that this year is in fact the commemorative year, the 50th commemorative year of the Vietnam War. And so to all of you veterans who served, and to their families who served, and who lost, we say thank you as a grateful county. We have a mission in Putnam County. It's a very strong mission, and it comes from the soul. And it's about saving our veterans. Many of you recognize this photograph. It was all around the world. I believe Reuters or AP put it up. Joseph Patrick Dwyer was an American soldier, and he was photographed helping an ailing Iraqi boy. He enrolled into the military after 9/11, and he died on June 28th of an overdose of a sedative. And they said it was post-traumatic syndrome. That can't happen. It cannot happen. We will not let it happen. And that's why our Department for the Director of Veterans Affairs is working very, very closely with the peer-to-peer program. We need to understand PTSD. We need to embrace it. Putnam County has a couple of really wonderful opportunities as a tourist destination and as an educational center. And one of them is our Putnam Veterans Museum. But we weren't getting the traction that we wanted. So we sat down, a group of us, our historian, our tourism director, our veterans, the advisory board, and we said, what do we need to do? And we decided that in the world of search and Google, if we popped in military and someone was looking for somewhere for educational or museum, historic, they would show our museum. So we have rebranded and rededicated our museum to the Putnam Veterans and Military Museum. And we're very proud of our display there because it's all our display. And one of the items, if you go there, is from Mario Antoci, who is a friend of mine, served in the 69th Infantry Division, was a POW, and his parents received a Western Union telegram saying that he had been either killed in action or was a POW. Mario came home, the telegram is in the museum. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to celebrate and embrace our patriotic and our military heritage. And the traveling wall, for the third time, comes back to Putnam County. If you haven't had the chance to go to Washington, D.C., then I ask you to set aside the dates of September 24th through the 27th, where this incredibly magnificent memorial will be constructed in Veterans Park. And you will be completely taken. You will be completely taken by the folks that you will come and see, the family members, the veterans themselves, by the memorials that are left, by the groupings, the hugs. It is something that I believe is Putnam County owns that heritage, owns the importance of this wall because we have embraced it here 3 times. And on that closing date, you'll see that Gold Star Mothers, which is a national monument that Putnam County is the first to say is ours, was the first to put on the map. We will be celebrating the National Gold Star Mothers celebration, holiday celebration, on that closing Sunday. So please, mark that in your calendars. And thank you again to all the veterans and to all your families. So the finest and the bravest. You know, when I was a kid growing up here, most of our friends' dads were either New York City police officers, New York City firemen, utility workers. That was the fabric. That was really the family makeup at the time. And as things have moved on in life, we're still proud to say that we're a county of first responders. And we're very, very proud to say that we're a county of volunteer and career first responders. And I just want to note right here, these are the police departments. These are all volunteers, everyone. All of those names up there, and each one of them could represent between 50 and 100 individuals and their families that don't mind getting out of bed at 2 o'clock in the morning, don't mind putting a beer aside so that because they know that they are on call. It's critically important, not only socially, but fiscally. Without these men and women and their families' commitment, we would probably not be able to have the tax value that we have right now. And of course, we have to support what they do. If we're going to ask them to get it out there, we're going to have to make sure that they have the equipment and the safety and the protocol and the skill set and the training to do it. And I want to thank the Sheriff's Office and Sergeant Bill Meyer and Acting Commissioner Bob Lipton for writing a grant for $150,000 so that we can finally construct a new emergency response building. Nothing fancy. Don't worry about it. It's not, nothing, no kitchens, no espresso machines that I know of anyway. But it allows us to put all of these critical equipment, vehicles, and operational high security apparatus under one roof, to be centrally located, to be accessed with ease, on the ready, because that's how it happens. We know it. 1 minute you're watching the news, you're watching a football game, the next minute it's all going down. But we're ready. The school resource officers, the Putnam County Sheriff's officers, we have 8 deputy sheriffs assigned to our schools. We also have added the SPOs, the special patrol officers. And it's all about security. It's all about the kids. When we go to work and we're doing what we're doing, we all need to know that those kids are safe. And if something should happen, we really know that our sheriff's office and the men and women that are there, they've got our backs and they've got our kids' best interests. And I want to thank each and every one of them for their commitment. So we have a new deputy in Putnam County. New deputy that was funded outside the budget in a grant, and his name is Satch. How about that? Satch was named for Michael Satch Nooner, who was a former deputy sheriff who in 1997 was killed in the line of duty fighting a house fire as a Brewster Fire Department volunteer. Satch is partnered with Deputy Chris Tompkins, and he was funded with a grant that was provided by the K-9 equipment and vehicle. And I want to thank our partners, which we'll get to later, at the MTA for training Satch, and we welcome Satch. In part of our war on addiction and substance abuse, we've recognized Narcan. It's going to be one of those words that you'll hear forever now. You never heard it before one day, and now you're going to hear it all the time. Nasal Narcan. It's an anti-opiate antidote, I guess you'd say. And it's been administered up until today, this morning, 3 times. As of today, 4 times. Narcan is an anti-opiate that if someone's suffering from a heroin overdose and it's administered in a proper amount of time, can reverse the overdose itself and literally save that life. And we're ready. Everyone is trained and it's been distributed. So Putnam County is a county of lakes and streams and rivers, ponds, lots of water in Putnam County. And so it's critical that we maintain a marine unit. That marine unit has 8 members. We have 5 watercraft. And we cover 3 bodies of water. The Hudson River, think about how critical it is that we maintain coverage of the Hudson River. We're only 50 miles from New York City. We're in the shadow of probably the world's largest target. We also have Lake Oscawana and Lake Mahopac to cover, and that's to make sure that everyone's boating safely. They're recreational tourist destinations. They're places where family and kids are. And we offer boater safety classes. our strength, and our commitment, and our resilience. And it all goes down to money, right? You can have all these great things, but you have to have the money to do it. You have to have the credit. So our fiscally conservative guiding principles are about maintaining a strong fund balance, about keeping that Moody's AA2 credit rating, about meeting the contractual obligations, and at the same time avoiding employee layoffs, delivering mandated service from the state, Terrence Sue, as well as quality of life services, which we count on here, and all the while staying within Albany's 2% tax cap. And we meet all of those principles, and it demonstrates our commitment to continue to deliver that strong fiscal outlook and be resilient in spite of the many, many challenges every day. And we all know that as homeowners, right? You just never know. How many people fear the oil truck coming over the hill having the label that's your provider? So how did we pay the bills in 2014? Well, we have a total revenue of $140.2 million. Our sales and use tax is 40% of that pie. Real property taxes, that's your tax check, is 31%. Our department heads, they do the best they can. Department of Motor Vehicle, Consumer Affairs, trying to get the revenues in. And the state and federal aid, oh, well, they give us 18%. They hand us a bill for 75% of our budget, but they give us 18%, Neil. How's that, right? Does that work? It's good math. I don't know. Okay. So that's how we pay our bills. And how we spent our money to pay those bills, which you'll see the expenses are 143.3, so if you're really paying attention, you'll see the difference there. So public safety, because we all know we're the safest county in the state of New York, and we all know that that drives real estate, and that's why we're all here, is 24% of our budget. Public assistance, that's the social services program. That's where we put it down for our families and for our kids and our veterans. General government support, that's just the operations to keep everybody moving, going, doing what they need to do. And of course, health. The health of our constituents, making sure that everyone maintains their standard of health. And then education. No child left behind. Everybody gets a shot here. Early intervention, pre-K program, community college tuition, 7% of our budget or $9.8 million. But we remain on solid ground, and that's in the numbers. Our fund balance at the end of 2014 was $18.8 million, or 13% of our operating budget. And Moody's, who is the judge, they're the Oscars, they tell you if you're going to win it or not, says we're sound. We're definitely strong. And what we've been able to do is our retirement reserve balance for 2014 has 3.4 in it, which is going to allow us to forego the amortization program. Well, what is that? That means we don't have to borrow any more money to pay the pension bill because New York State's pension fund went upside down in 2008. And we remain on solid financial ground in spite of unanticipated costs. Like I said, how many of us dread that oil truck coming over? Well, this one came from left field. We were hit with a $4 million judgment as a result of a crime that wasn't even committed in Putnam County. Somehow Putnam County became in the chain of this, and we became a party, and as a result of a judgment, we had to pull $4 million out of our general funds to pay this obligation. And I can tell you this, if that judgment had come in 2 weeks later, the 2015 budget would have been startling different. There would have been a dramatic difference in what we did. But you know what? We paid our obligation. We understood the law as it is. We understand justice. And we paid that bill. But the story's not over. Because we just don't say, okay. We said, well, now what do we do? And so with strategic negotiations with NYMER, who's our insurance company, we negotiated with them, and they agreed that they would pick up $1.5 million of that $4 million payment after we made the settlement. And so this evening, I'm proposing to the county legislature that we do accept this settlement of $1.5 million, and we take that $1.5 million and we put it towards the capital project improvements that we need to do. In light of the discussions about the bonding, the numbers, what debt we are incurring, I would offer to each and every one of you this evening to think about taking that 1.5 million and getting the job done around here that we need to do to get our buildings ADA in compliance and safe for our constituents. When we talk about the pension funds, I just want to mention that we were noted in Putnam County. Very rarely are we noted in Putnam County for anything good, but they did pick up on the fact that we are ahead of the curve in paying down our debt. And most particular, and if you ask any county, any school district, any municipality, what's absolutely killing their budgets right now is pension debt. But we made the news, the headlines, in a good way. And they recognized that we stated our priority was to get rid of the pension borrowing. And we did it as quickly as we could. And I want to thank my colleagues on the legislature for agreeing and supporting those initiatives. And we're going to continue to make smart financial decisions. However, on November 30th, 2015, the Putnam County sales tax will sunset. And we're asking our state legislators, again, Dr. Murphy and Senator Serino, to pass Resolution 38 to keep our current 8 3/8 sales tax. And I just want to explain something to everyone about sales tax. The 8 3/8 broken out. New York State gets 4% of that 8 3/8. County government gets 4% of that county sales tax, and the MTA gets 3/8 of that sales tax. So while it sounds like a really good political buzzword, makes a nice headline, let's cut sales tax percent down 1%, okay, fine. But now you got to find $14 million. And meantime, P.S., the state's still getting their 4%. We're getting the hit. And you want to cut it 0.5%? Then find $7 million. And remember, New York State's still getting their 4%. And so it goes to the 0.25%. You want to cut it 0.25%? Because it sounds good, that's $3.5 million. So who pays these bills? The taxpayers pays these bills. So if you want to play a little political money monopoly, go right ahead. But that is the facts right there. You can cut it, but the state's still getting their money and still handing us mandates. And of course the MTA is still going to get theirs. Who gets burned? The taxpayers. Partnerships. This is what we do here in Putnam County with our sales tax. These are the state-mandated programs. Medicaid, $10 million. Social services. You can see them up there. County sharing, here's what we do. If the argument is going to be that we don't share, I would argue we do. Because the Help America Vote Act, the county took on, that's $900,000 from all the town municipalities. Community college chargeback, $3.2 million. We took off the town's backs. And the unpaid property taxes for 10 school districts, 6 towns, 3 villages, $25 million. Putnam County government floats in bonds so that your budgets don't have a hole in them and that you can continue to provide the education and the services that you do. We share. Safe. We are the safest county in New York State. And we're very proud of it. And everybody recognizes that map. And I just want to give an update tonight on what exactly is going on in our stand in Putnam County protecting the Second Amendment. The decision directing the county to disclose the information regarding the pistol permit applications is currently being appealed. We're awaiting a decision. But I promise you, we will fight. We will continue to fight and defend the Second Amendment in Putnam County. Vision, preparedness, responsibility, great words for elected officials. The only thing worse than being blind is having sight but no vision, Helen Keller said. There's no limit to the amount of good you can do if you don't care who gets the credit. President Reagan said that. And preparedness. Opportunity doesn't make appointments. You have to be ready when it arrives. Tim Fargo. That's leadership. You combine those 3 principles, you can call this administration all about leadership. We're all about vision, we're all about preparedness, we're all about responsibility. Tilly Foster Farm. we took that responsibility head on. We brought the community in, we vetted through, we came up with some solutions, and every single one of those solutions has been approved by the Department of Environmental Protection and the Watershed Acquisition Council. And we're moving ahead. But we have some significant infrastructure issues that we have to address. The septic is failing. The water system is deteriorating. I want to show you guys something. This is a water pipe from the Tilly Foster Farm. This is what was carrying our water in the Tilly Foster Farm. These are the things that we're looking at. These are the things that we're taking on right now. We have electric infrastructure issues that we have to face for code compliance. But we're doing it, we're committed to it. I want to thank the legislature for signing off on this project, and I promise you, this will be a destination that we will all be proud of. There's been some great partnerships established. We're certainly looking forward to the BOCES. Tom, you can go. We're looking to our partnership with BOCES, where they signed on to an environmental science program and an animal care program and the culinary program, which will kick off in July. Everyone's very excited. I want to thank Cornell Cooperative Extension for agreeing to open the visitor center as well. Tilly Foster is on its way. It's on its way to be exactly what this facility is, a tourist destination that sustains itself and is open to the public all the time, to all the public. And they're back. Everybody loves these guys. We have Giuseppe, we have Sinbad, we have Ginger, Penelope, we have Sunny. We have these great, awesome, beautiful animals, all part of the animal plan. They're low maintenance, but they're lovely and they're charming. And they're all about love and family, and the kids just love them. And that little chick that I'm holding right there, his name is Bruce Walker. And the trailway system. We have 12 miles of trailways, and we're presently working on 3 additional projects. You know, everyone loves the trailways. It was a great way to use a defunct railway system and still be environmentally responsible. And it's a great tourist destination for everyone. And our Putnam County Golf Course, where we are tonight, it's become such a wonderful, exciting place to be. We had over 30,000 rounds of golf last year. We've had terrific gala events here. We've celebrated New Year's Eve. We've brought in corporations that have come in and celebrated. We have family events, baby showers, holy communions. We have bar mitzvahs, We have weddings, a bachelor party too. I don't know, we won't talk about that. But it's really become the hub of excitement and entertainment, and I just want to thank the staff here in sum total for all they do, for their great to everyone. You've really made us proud. And we made a couple of bucks. We had $2 million in revenue. We saw $153,000 in gross profit, which is saying a lot because golf is not trending nationally even. But we're making it happen. And we have some good projections. We have some really, really good projections. And I'm projecting that guy with that golf swing, he needs a new pro. That's not working. Oh, I thought today we were going to talk about the thaw. You know, but apparently we got 5 more days of cold. So I don't need to tell everybody what the last 10 weeks has been like, right? Richard T. Othmer, former chair of the legislature, now Kent Highway Superintendent. It's been rough. We all know that. But here's what's even rougher to you business owners. I know I don't have to say this to you. Most have occurred on a Saturday, Sunday, or a holiday. That's a killer. That's a killer across the board. And our overtime, right, Ruth? Yes. Overtime. It's exhausting. We're done. We get it. You pounded us into the ground. We have 26.4 million pounds of salt we've used in the county. Now add what you've used at home. And 100% of our salt budget has been spent. But I got to tell you something. Fred Penn, our Commissioner of Highway, bright, brilliant engineer, lawyer, had great visibility, and he bought salt before it went up 40% in price increase. And Fred, thank you very much for doing that. 90% of our overtime budget has been spent, which means everybody keep your finger crossed that we'll have a good October, November, December in 15. So our county assets, our critical county assets, are in tremendous need of repair. We need road resurfacing. How many times did everybody hit a pothole on the way over here today? Take a look at your culverts and storm drains. And just imagine what you're facing at home, and now take that countywide. We have failing bridges and dams, and we have communication towers. And I highlight the communication towers because that's critical to public safety. We must have the best communication towers possible. We have to invest in that. And so capital projects, we're talking about the Cobb Building, the center of county government, in the hamlet of Carmel, in the county seat. It's aging, it needs repair. We have the Manpack Senior, the Donald B. Smith campus. We have also the historic courthouse, thank you. Any of you guys have gone through there lately, you've seen the ice damming and the effect that it's having on that beautiful historic building. We have to invest in our assets. And we've always said here, managing our assets and optimizing our resources was our primary goal. So we're continuing to seek paths to acquire funds to make this happen. Governor Cuomo is sitting on $5.4 billion of a bank settlement. He's sitting on it. And so I'm asking Senator Murphy and Senator Serino, again, if you're wondering why you got the front row, now you know why you got the front row. To take those list of comprehensive projects that we said are important to us, not only for transportation infrastructure, not only so that our car tires don't come flying off, and that we don't veer into another lane, but so that we can enhance our communication, which is vitally important to public safety, as I mentioned. At the same time, get projects and promote sewer and water so that we can enhance our smart economic growth here in Putnam County. And I want to applaud the highway superintendents, Richie Ockmer and a whole bunch of highway superintendents. Russ Goff, you're here too. You're just a little tired, right? You're over to the side of Patterson. These guys went up to Albany and basically, you could say, stormed the legislature and said to the governor, listen, local roads matter. You can't take that $5.4 billion and not think that we don't need to have funding to get our roads, our local roads, our bridges, and our culverts fixed. So they're asking for $200 million to increase the CHIPS and $500 million for the state aid, and we support that. And I want to thank you. So Governor Cuomo has been quoted in a news article that's saying he called these requests pork barrel. That's just ridiculous. So we're calling on Governor Cuomo to make sure that the Hudson Valley region receives its fair share of the windfall settlement dollars to support these critical projects. Remember us here. You got the Buffalo got their billion. Upstate's getting their casinos. What are we getting here? Give us something here, Governor Cuomo, so that we can fix our roads and be safe and communicate on the level that we should be. Take a moment here to, we're talking about this winter event and we're talking about, the county workforce and family. We've got a great committed family workforce here. And the Putnam County workforce is on 24/7. So I want to give a special shout out to not only our first responders that are volunteer, but also to our career, to the Putnam County Sheriff's team, to the 911 dispatch team, the 911 dispatch center, and of course our highway crew. Thank you for being on. So maintaining, managing, and maximizing our assets. As we've gone through this this evening, you've seen some of the things that we own here. We own. I don't own. We own. We all own. I manage. We all own. We've got roads, 117 miles of roads. We've got buses. We've got a golf course. We've got communication towers, catch basins, vehicles, snow plows. Does anybody care? Not really. But you know what? You need to know that this is where your tax dollars are going. This is what we're managing every day. and we're glad to do it. And I want to thank all of the workforce of Putnam County for making sure that we make sure that those assets, which are your assets, are taken care of. Mobility. Last year we talked about mobility. Putnam Moves. We had to rebrand our transit system. Nobody even knew it existed. They thought it was a prison transport system on But I took on the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce and I said to them, help. And they're always there. Bill Num, Jen Mars, stand up please and take your due, take your round of applause. The Putnam County Chamber of Commerce, they've rebranded our Putnam system. And some of you have seen the buses. They're outside and you're probably saying, why do they take up 4 spaces? Why do they have to park this way? I said the same thing. The Transportation Task Force, a group of leaders in the county who understood transportation mobility, where people needed to be, where they needed to go. I want to thank them for all their hard work and their recommendations. And I want to thank the drivers. I know it's been hard for you guys, but I want to thank you for being committed, for keeping our constituents and our ridership safe and staying focused. And certainly a big thank you to MV, the new providers of transportation. You've done a great job. Thank you. And when you talk about mobility, it happens in all different ways, shapes, and forms. A couple of weeks ago, I had this incredible opportunity to meet with the family of World War II veteran John Jack Hearn, who from U.S. Navy donated his own van, and he bequeathed it in his will, and he said, I want that van to go to move veterans from the appointments that they need. We were so blessed and so grateful for the Hearn family, certainly to Jack Hearn for his service. This is about veterans helping veterans. It's about Putnam County embracing the needs of our veterans, and it's also about volunteers. And to that I'm going to give a little PSA. We need volunteers to move these guys around. So if anyone's interested in helping move our veterans to their Castle Point, Montrose appointments, or any of the appointments they need at the Putnam Hospital Center or anywhere around, please sign up with our administration. We'd be glad to have you part of the family. And thank you to the Hearn family. So the MTA, Metro North, are in the house. Please stand. Joe Giletti, Randy Fleischer, Mark Mannix, Donna Haynes, Neil Zuckerman, Bob Bickford. Thank you, Metro North. If you grew up here in Putnam County, if you know a little bit about Putnam County history, you know that we have 2 rail lines here. The rail lines actually provided jobs and employment after farms were no longer able to sustain a family. We're rich in heritage when it comes to the rail lines, and right now it's moving people back and forth. And the rail lines runs both ways. And so it's important that we get New York City riders up here to our tourist destinations. This is a commitment. It's a wonderful partnership. I want to thank all of you for being here tonight. And I also want to say thank you for your participation in the NIMTIC, of which I'm proud to represent Putnam County as one of the members of the Board of Directors. So thank you, MTA. So with our partnership with the MTA, we're talking about infrastructure. Prospect Hill Road Bridge. I have a couple of legislators up there that really care about this right now. That bridge has been closed for some time. It's unsafe. But the MTA, they have committed, Metro North Railroad has committed to funding for this project, and the design will begin in the year 2015, or the advertisement for the design will begin in 2015. This is a huge project. We're very, very grateful for you understanding how critical this infrastructure is. Thank you again. And when you talk about mobility, and you talk about our bus and our transit system, you talk about where people need to be, how they're going to get there. And we realize that shelters were probably a good start. Not only are they a good start for people to recognize that we have a bus system, but they're also a good opportunity for advertising, which is also revenue. Money. So we've designed and located some strategic locations in Putnam County where we will be putting up additional shelters, hoping that each and every one of you small business owners, large corporations, of course, with the help of Metro North and MTA, will be able to expand on our advertising program. And to the bus advertising, again, a big, huge shout out to the Putnam County Chamber of Commerce. And a big thank you to our very first advertisers on the back of the bus, Park Ford, Lou Cardillo, Mac Creative Plan Solutions, and of course, the Putnam Hospital Center, celebrating their 50 years of service here in Putnam County. Thank you all. And here. How cool would that be? Okay, our seniors. We love our seniors. 2014 was the year of the senior. As I said earlier, my grandmother is going to be 101. The woman is amazing. She's seen it all. There's probably nothing that she hasn't seen that she won't share with you. Right, Deb? So we have some great programs, some great events in the Senior Resource Center. We want to thank the legislature for allowing Senator Susurino to use the Putnam Valley Senior Center as a satellite office. And we want to congratulate Senator Susurino on being named the chairperson on the Standing Committee on Aging. It's wonderful, Sue, to have you on board and serving in this town. We have the largest growing population of seniors in Putnam County, so it's always so very important that we recognize what they do for us. 83% own their own home. They want to stay here, and you know what? We need them. We need our babysitters, don't we? People who don't cherish the elderly have forgotten whence they came and whither they go, and how true that is. We want to keep our seniors healthy. For a fiscal responsibility too, let me just add, it's very important that we keep them healthy. So we deliver 150 homebound meals, and boy, have we delivered some blizzard boxes, right, Patchy? And we have traditions. Putnam County is deep in traditions, and I think that defines all of us here. We all come from a different faith, we all come from a different heritage, and we embrace them all every day throughout the year, whether it's the Oktoberfest, whether it's the powwow, whether it's the St. Patrick's Day Parade, the Polish American Festival. It's all about tolerance, it's all about celebration, it's all about family, it's all about faith, and it's all about enjoying each other. And you know what, a couple sales tax dollars in between is pretty good too. And what a great St. Patrick's Day Parade, I would have to say, we had on Sunday. And bravo to everyone in attendance. These are just some of the upcoming events that we have in line for the seniors. You're looking at this facility right now from the balcony. You can see how many of them have enjoyed the opportunity to dance, to laugh, to joke, to be entertained, and to see each other. They're really wonderful events, and they roll right through to the Christmas holidays. Caring. Boy, do we care. We care about everyone in Putnam County. We care from A to Z. It's an alphabet list. And the health department starts there by immunizing the children who are maybe underinsured or not insured. We inoculate those who are anticipating for the new flu strains out there. Our health department, our nurses, their staff is always on the ready, always on the go. And they care about our business leaders. And just this week, we had the annual food operators seminar. Over 150 vendors participated. I participated. I was quite impressed by the interaction, talking about social media, dietary options, sanitary codes. Our vendors, our F&B, our food and beverage providers, our business leaders are very committed to not only running a safe operation, but in the best way that they can. And Dr. Beals and his team are promoting the Eat Smart Restaurant Week, which was a huge success last year. Just shows you that a delicious meal can also be healthy. So we have a little pet project this year in 2015 that I want everyone's attention to. And here's some statistics. In 2014, Putnam County had 32 residents on a wait list for an organ donation. 9 received an organ. 2 did not have the time to wait. This year, 2015, we have 46 of our residents waiting for an organ donation. One selfless act can save 8 lives. This is a partnership with the Putnam Hospital Center and HealthQuest, Putnam County Department of Motor Vehicle, our Health Department, County Executive and Legislative Office, and Live On New York. This flash drive we're handing out tonight has all the information on it, should you wish to register and save a life. Mentoring, our pilot program. We've got the best and the brightest here in Putnam County. You heard one of them singing earlier. Pilot program's expanded now. We have 61 college students, 2 graduate students, 21 high school students, 17 are returning. It shows you we're doing it the right way. We have the best and the brightest. And see, these are some of the colleges and the universities that these kids hail from. It's such a value to have them. They're so smart. This little flash drive is like embedded in them. They can do anything at any given time. They save us money as taxpayers, and they teach us about what they know and pass it on. And fun. We all like a little fun. Putnam County, Libby Pataki, her team, intern 001, Frank Smith is here. Which I should mention, Frank Smith's grandfather was a heart transplant recipient. And Frank got to have his grandpa for 10 more years because of that donation. So what is there to do here in Putnam County? Well, Libby and her team, Frank and Katie, they've got it all going on. They've got a map, they've got Pumpkin Palooza, they've got a partnership going with the MTA on getaway weekends. They're offering promotion for the Shakespeare Festival, and they're talking about Extravaganza, which will be the Easter promotion. And of course the powwow, which is in August, which is a tradition here. And of course they're always helping out Margie Keith and Cornell Cooperative with the 4-H fair. We have a Putnam County Film and Television Commission here, and I want to embrace the Village of Brewster and their film festival for putting it down and doing all that they do. It's very exciting. You bring these film crews in, they spend a little money, and guess what? They get up and they go. It's perfect. Perfect business model. And our partners. We have economic development projects right now in place. We have the Brewster Revitalization Project. Very exciting for the hub of the Harlem Valley. We have the State Line Retail Center. Very exciting. We're talking about jobs. We're talking about sales tax revenue. We're talking about the Crossroads 312 project. Again, we're talking about a hotel. We're talking about a place where our families can stay. We're talking about Butterfield, so the West Coast can have the services that they've been underserved for so very long. But you know what else we're talking about? We're talking about putting Putnam families to work. We're talking about getting the union families on these jobs and back to work, and promoting smart economic growth and development in Putnam County. In our future, we've been very blessed by the presence of the new president of the Putnam Hospital Center, Mr. Jim Callis. Jim, take a bow, please. I talk about the future. We talk about checking off the past. We were able to settle some litigation, and the 35 acres of prime real estate next to the Putnam Hospital Center, portion of it will now be back on the property tax rolls. That's great news, sustainable income for all the residents. What's really an extra boost is that the residents of Putnam County also were able to receive $495,000 for the value of that land. And our seniors and our assisted living, which is proven to be assisted living is proven to be something that all communities are in need of. That will be on that site. And again, it will create jobs. And I'm going to tell you this. The Putnam Community Foundation, Putnam County Government, and the Putnam Hospital Center are ready for the future. We have moved on, and like anything else, like a good broken bone, we're stronger than ever. And thank you, Jim, for your help with this work. So the county team, as we close this evening, here's the county team. These are the members who keep it all going. Tonight, I am suggesting to the legislature that they make their confirmations of each and every one of these individuals. Everyone's important in their own role, but particularly tonight we have one of interest, and that's the Commissioner of Emergency Services. We're taking a little bit of a different approach here. And I want to describe this as an unprecedented process of selection. I stepped aside and I asked the stakeholders, the first responders, to form their own search committee. And by doing so, they would have their own very real voice in selecting their next commissioner. And they did. These are the members who stepped up, took the time in a very compressed amount of time, over 20 hours. Paul Eldridge, Al Jacobs, Chief Sean Kaler, Mike Bukowski, Chief Rick Tofty, Peter DeAndriano, Bill Goldman on the legislature, Chief Vinnie Roberto, Chief Ed McCarthy. They wanted to be part of it, and you know what? They made the commitment and they made it happen. And I'm very, very grateful that they were able to work together collaboratively and collectively. And the process, as I said, was very compressed. It all started January 10th. The nominees that they selected themselves were chosen on January 26th. On March 9th, the Deputy County Executive Paul Eldridge and I were given the names of the final 5. And on March 10th, I made the selection. And this evening I'd like to announce what I believe is a general consensus of the man who is fit to lead the Bureau of Emergency Service, and that's Mr. Anthony Sutton. We have a lot to look forward to. We have a lot to be grateful for. One of our partners, and when we talk about family and how we reach out our arms, and we do it here within our community, we do it within the state, we do it within our nation, but we do it globally with United for the Troops. Jimmy Rathschmidt has done an incredible job in making sure that our troops know that they have family every day. They may not know who they are, but they know they have family. So Jimmy, United for the Troops, thank you for being here tonight. We have a flash drive that was handed out. This is a directory for everyone. Take it home. It allows you to have access to any of the resources, most of which we spoke about tonight. I want to thank everyone, my team, Tom Lannon, thank you, everyone for pitching in and making this presentation happen. And mostly I just want to thank everyone, the people of Putnam County, for allowing me to be the county executive of a county that I grew up in and that I have so much deep respect for. Thank you to my family, thank you to my deputy county executive. Good night.